to the letter, this should be the place.
Sorry, we don't serve the general public. I'm afraid you'll have to leave.
Wait! We're not the general public!
Well then, you must be a couple of wandering outlanders that snuck into the nation, judging by your attire.
Are our clothes really so... what Paimon means to say is...
The Yashiro Commission's seal. This must be from Mr. Toma. It seems there's more to you than meets the eye. In which case, welcome to the Komore Tea House, a safe haven for the Yashiro Commission.
Well, that sounds more like it.
What kind of tea is this?
Well, now that we're here, where's Toma? Paimon doesn't see him anywhere. Do you think he forgot his promise to meet us?
Who forgot their promise? I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me.
What? Is that dog talking to us?
Relax, no need to look so surprised. I take it this is the first time you've seen me in this form? Huh. So you didn't see anything like this when you were in Liyue Harbor?
Now that you mention it, this does suddenly seem less out of the ordinary.
Alright, I've had my fun.
Hey! You're this close to getting an ugly nickname, mister!
Well, I've had some time to kill, given that I've been waiting here for you for so long, as was the case in Rito. So I came up with this little fun greeting for when you arrived. But in all seriousness, I would like to apologize about that little test you went through earlier, though it was quite necessary. It helped us determine whether or not to bring you before Ms. Kamisato, and whether you had the courage to face the lightning alongside us.
Don't think that Paimon's gonna forgive you just because you're getting all serious now.
Sorry, did I overdo it? My apologies. Let me just say this. You've often found yourself skirting the rules from the very beginning, haven't you? Naturally, this is due to your unwavering and resolute determination. A long time ago, we had a friend who was much the same, but when the lightning struck... so you've heard of his story. His light still burns all the more brightly. Yes, of course. I will bring you to the Kamisato residence where the Yashiro Commission is located. But before that, there is one other place I was hoping you both would accompany me to.
Oh? Where?
I would like you to come with me to the statue of the omnipresent god. It's still under construction now, but you can already see it from practically anywhere on Narukami Island.
What delicious tea.
probably don't come here often. Dude, huh? Are Paimon's eyes playing tricks? Or are there things embedded in the statue?
Visions.
Visions? You mean all the visions that are collected from the Vision Hunt decree are put into this statue?
So you've already heard of the Vision Hunt decree. Before I try to explain, I should perhaps remind you first that Mondstadt is the city of freedom, and Liyue is the city of contracts. As for Inazuma, it's known as the Nation of Eternity. The Raiden Shogun is both the nation's most powerful ruler and its deity. The Eternity in question is her endless and unchanging will to rule over Inazuma. As such, she relies on the Tri-Commission to regulate the nation's affairs and the Sakoku Decree to limit the people's movement. The Shogun wishes to keep Inazuma in stasis, allowing the stream of time to flow from one end to the other without disturbing it for all time.
Seems like every god has their own will.
Of course, this is my own limited understanding. As for the reason behind the recent Vision Hunt decree, perhaps the Shogun believes that visions grant people the power to change, and that her eternity doesn't allow for such instability to exist. Whatever the case, the fact is that the Raiden Shogun has dispatched the Tenryou Commission to scour the nation for visions, embedding each one in this statue. And this statue of the omnipresent god can be seen as Inazuma's symbol of eternity.
But if that's the case, wouldn't you say that the Raiden Shogun is being... oh, I don't...
Only outlanders such as yourselves would ever dare speak out so directly against the Raiden Shogun. And yet, I agree. The Vision Hunt decree is something that simply should not exist. And Miss Kamisato has been committed to fighting it since the day it was announced.
Huh? Hey, are you okay? You look like your mind is elsewhere.
Sound? What sound? I didn't hear anything. Did something happen?
Yeah, you touched the statue, and then... what?
Aspirations? That would seem to confirm the saying. Have you heard it before? That when a person's ambition reaches a certain strength, the gods look upon them with favor. That is where visions come from. In other words, a person's vision represents their ambition. So if what you just said is true, then the ambitions of these people are stronger than I imagined. Alright, time for the next stop on our tour of Narukami Island, the Kamisato residence.
Finally! So, this is the kind of place where the big shots of Inazuma live, huh? Paimon kinda expected it to be... snazzier.
Welcome at last to the Kamisato residence, honored guests. Miss Kamisato is delighted to finally meet you.
Is this the Shirasage Himegimi you keep going on about? So, where's she at? Oh, behind the screen?
Yes. As the daughter of the Yashiro Commission, this is how Miss Kamisato is accustomed to receiving guests. Consider it a time-honored tradition within the Yashiro Commission. Forgive me if this is an unwelcome surprise.
Makes sense. She's a super important person after all.
Please forgive my lack of courtesy for receiving you in this fashion, especially following such a long and wearisome journey over the sea. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation. And Toma assures me that you do indeed possess the power to change the tide of the times. At present in Inazuma, in the name of the Vision Hunt Decree, the people's aspirations are being senselessly trampled underfoot. Though the Yashiro Commission serves the Shogun, it is the people with whom we share close bonds, given the contact we are required to have with them in the performance of our duties. A commission's power rises and falls with the trust of their people. Thus, we cannot remain indifferent to this situation without also remaining indifferent to our own fate. Traveler, lend us your power, and we can... Oh.
See, milady, it's just like I said.
No, please! Wait! Please, don't go! I will introduce you to the Raiden Shogun on one condition. You must fulfill 3 small wishes on my behalf.
What are your wishes?
They pertain to 3 whose visions were taken from them. Perhaps once you've met them, you will understand.
A warrior who guards a village, a former samurai who helped carry out the Vision Hunt Decree, and a swordmaster determined to become the best in the world. Does Paimon got that right?
Correct. Please do all you can to help them. I will await... Then you have my gratitude.
I'm sure you'll do great.
See, where's the person Ayaka told us about?
Why are you doing this? Why leave all of a sudden, after all these years?
Precisely. It's much too sudden. We've had no time to prepare. The children are desperate for you to take them out to play. Please, we urge you to reconsider.
That must be the guy Ayaka told us about. Let's go over and see.
Ah, you must also be here to try and convince Tejima to stay. Tejima has protected this place ever since he arrived here 30 years ago. Keeping out the treasure hoarders, fending off any monsters that draw near, resolving quarrels between the villagers. He has put an enormous amount of work into looking after this place, and we all think the world of him. But now, all of a sudden, he says he plans to leave us. We can't help but wonder, was it something we did? We will gladly apologize if that's the case. All we want is for him to stay.
If you want my opinion, something to do with the Vision Hunt Decree. It's clear that Tejima had done nothing wrong, and still they confiscated his vision. After that, he became a completely different person. I can't claim to fully understand it, but I could tell that he'd lost something very important to him. He went off on a walk, alone, circled the village a few times, and then, out of the blue, he announced that he was going to leave and become a wanderer. Truth be told, we aren't sure whether trying to keep him here is the right thing to do. But equally, it doesn't feel right to let him leave when he's in this state. He's a lost soul.
Seems like he's a well-respected guy around here. You must be Tejima. So what's made you want to up and leave all of a sudden?
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave, but a question of what reason I would have to stay. True, but that's not why I chose to stay here. And what made me want to come here 30 years ago? And why have I never wanted to? I don't have answers to those questions, because I can't remember anymore. Ever since they took my vision away, it's like a slice of my memory is gone. In the past, I knew I wanted to stay here. But whatever resolve I had then, it's gone now. So I thought, what's to stop me from moving around instead? The emptiness inside me will be there either way.
Okay. Well, in that case, if we help you rediscover the reason you chose to stay, you won't need to leave anymore, right? But if you can't remember anything, it's not gonna be easy. Oh, maybe if you just try a little harder to remember, then it'll all come flooding back?
Oh, that reminds me. Last time I brought Tejima some fruit, I do believe I saw him writing in a diary.
I keep a diary? If you say so. I honestly can't seem to remember.
Oh, yes, you do. And what's more, I remember you saying at the time that you wanted to make a note of a few interesting things. Things which would prove very important at a later date.
Perfect! So if we want to keep Tejima from leaving, we just need to find his diary. It must be around here somewhere. Let's take a look.
If you don't mind, we will leave you to find the diary. We should head back to the village to inform the others of Tejima's situation.
This looks like Tejima's diary, all right. Let's see what we have here. Today, the villagers and I got together to cook dry braised salted fish. I messed up and burned mine a little, so I had to pretend that it was black snakehead instead. Today, I helped rescue a kid who had fallen in the water. After I pulled him out, he told me that his best friend Bamboo was still in the water. I searched the water the whole afternoon before finding out that Bamboo was the name of his pet crab. I went kite flying today. The string broke, so I chased after it as fast as I could. I soon realized I was never going to get it back, so I just found somewhere to sit and watch as it flew away into the distance. Seems like your average diary of daily village life. Huh? Wait, there's more! I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. The Omamori you gave me has faded a little, but it is still my most treasured possession. Now that's the kind of info we're looking for. Time to pay a visit to the shrine. So this is the Omamori Tejima wrote about. Interesting. Looking at the color and the design, Paimon would have thought it belonged to a child. But anyway, if he had this with him all the time, there's a chance some of his elemental energy remained on it. Do you think that it might come in handy? somewhere that Tejima visited. The soil looks like it's been disturbed. Maybe Tejima buried something precious here. Must be something pretty amazing if it made him stick around. It looks like a letter. Konda Village. Sounds so familiar. Where is that place again? Huh. So the reason Tejima came here was to wait for someone. But he's been here for 30 years. Oh, well, let's go give Tejima his stuff back.
Well, I'll be. That's certainly my handwriting. But I have still. It's clear that I was waiting for someone. Over the years, I must have made a note of anything interesting. Anything that I could share with. And just look at all the things that did. How could I have forgotten something so important to me? Love, regret, everything I felt. No, after all, I've forgotten who she was. It's as if she'd never been in my life to begin with. I think maybe not. If this... Although, what if she were to turn up eventually, only to find I didn't remember so much as her name? Wouldn't that be upset when I think about it like that? How curious. Why am I thinking like this when I don't even remember who... I shall remain here.
Tejima seems to be dealing okay, but still, seems it's just like Ayaka and Toma were saying. If you look, that certainly explains the state. At least we were able to help him. According to Miss Kamisato, the second one who lost their vision is a samurai. They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining law. But why would they take action against... Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand... How many times do I have to say it?
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential.
You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this.
Oh, huh? And who are you? One of Kurosawa's gang, no doubt.
What? We heard the commotion and came...
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area, and he's the one responsible. In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. Now, he's keeping the provisions for himself. I just know it.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man. But it's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need...
This must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help. But maybe we should talk to Kurosawa.
I've never even heard of these emergency provisions. I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, my own family can barely get by as it is. And that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision.
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the vision hunt to...
To be perfectly honest, I don't seem... All I know is that I will perform certain things every month. And it's not just that. I have...
Does it have to do with the missing emergency?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them for myself, I wouldn't be going through such hard times, right? To top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders, which is why I came here in the first place. If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself.
But we better confirm. Let's go. We should be able to follow their...
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods.
You haven't seen anything yet. Today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an... You demand, boss!
These seem like the treasure hoarders we're after.
Yahoo! Think you can get away?
Time for retribution! I don't care about you. Oh, there goes all the Mora. We worked hard. Come on, boss. Think.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoard? Kurosawa. So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck.
So what did you see inside? Was it...
Food supplies. You kidding? That place was a complete mess. I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on... But now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal?
You've got a deal. Now show us what...
Huh?
What the?
There's nothing in...
Yeah, a lot, and they all seem to be made out to the owner of a general good. We better talk to this Miss Aoi and get... As for you guys, you're free to go.
Yes, so we redeemed ourselves for some IOUs.
Shut it. Let's just get out of here.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. We've got everything you need. Can I help you find something? Or perhaps there's... Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa.
Whoa, let's not get ahead. How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money?
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities. However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost. So
that's how he was getting those... But why did he have to purchase a usual amount?
well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must... Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they... So he deemed it necessary to...
Wow. Kurosawa, and no one ever appreciated what he did.
People's attitudes will always reflect their If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about Of course, I'm sure there would still have... As for why he chose to spend his own money on him... If you're still curious, I see. Most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice.
Sword?
Oh, didn't he tell you? I've asked him about its origins. He told me that in hindsight, I regret that I never... Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? But before you go...
But you...
Information is all... Don't worry. I won't charge much for an...
At least we now know where the emergency provisions are. Let's go talk to Kurosawa.
presented them with a choice. Either they... It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders?
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you...
Strange. I don't really have any such Why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why? But I could not deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, I could sense that my body was somehow... And this sword was once... I remember once when I was young. I wanted to sneak out with the blood. What did he say? It would seem that I forgot many important things. All I can remember now is my father telling me that this end said to me...
Hey! If you look carefully, there's... Can you recognize the words?
Virtue? Somehow those two words seem to explain taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. But what use of virtue and justice? The Tenryo Commission seized my vision. And the irony of all of it is, I'm incapable of being a good person.
Yet another trouble. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword. Yeah, seems like fortunately for us, you don't have a vision. Let's go find the next... The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master around these parts. Paimon heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui art. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought...
Maybe, but things have gotten dangerous before in the...
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all.
Hey there!
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong. We just came here to...
Disciples?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Mick, but then we got here and overheard you talking about how he got...
From the way you're dressed, please, accept my apologies. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently. I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Sensei's name is Domon. Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword. He once said that his goal was to be... And so, even while But then...
Not long ago, Sensei he says the strangest things over and over. Junya and I have discussed, but if I'm honest...
The Grand Narukami Shrine?
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. Not that we'd have any means of it, so don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be... The exorcism will take place this evening. You're both...
So, losing your vision...
Shh. So you decided to come. Just now, when Nanako was attending to him. She heard him when she asked him who the people were. He said it looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looked all the while he kept calling those names. One of them was Anzai. He used to be a fellow disciple of Sensei's. His senior, in fact. But Sensei defeated him in a duel many years ago. Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. The ritual has now begun. Please, excuse me for a moment.
Huh? Who's that sneaking? We won't let them get away with it! Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up? Is this definitely the right place? Let's look a little further up. Aha! Suspicious person sighted!
How? Are you sure you're Dolmon's? Unless...
Excuse me! And what are you doing?
Bad news? I'll have you know I don't care to talk about that time anymore.
His senior?
Anzai? Yes, because I don't wish to see Dolmon or anyone else associated. When we were young, we trained under the same swordmaster. I had begun training 5 years before him, and everyone looked up to practitioners of Meikyoshi Suiar. But Dolmon was different. The first thing he did when he joined was go. Sensei scolded him and told him that I thought so too at the time. Only then did I realize that it was Dolmon who he was consumed by.
Sure sounds like he...
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would, of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. Dolmon's arrival changed everything. When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my pride, and later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then, and unfortunately that match, after that I wanted nothing further to do with him. So, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction, I decided to quietly come. So you see... Okay, you've heard my story.
Seems like we got it wrong. Still, Paimon...
Does that mean he's just lost his mind? But how?
Nanako, please.
I am sorry, with what powers I have, but spirits mate and all is certainly...
Lady Yai? Is that...
The head shrine maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine?
Correct. Lady Yai, I am unable to say for...
Excuse me.
That won't be necessary. I must leave now, but we will...
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself would have taken...
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to...
No, that's not what I meant at all. You misunderstood. I just mean this is Lady Yai, the head shrine maiden. Anyway, you should join, given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei. We did this...
Sure! After all, who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find out... Do you think that's Lady Yai? Oh, no wonder Junya is so excited. She has a really striking presence. Also, is it just Paimon? Or did she look... it was probably nothing.
Keep away. I gave up the art of the sword. Please.
As you can see, Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears...
Lady Yai, it must be a possession. This is nothing like him at all. In the...
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that you...
But... Then did...
Yes. This... Unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he was under, he suffered a spiritual collapse. As one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his predicament. As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of
Stripped of his ambition? But Lady Yai, even without his ambition...
Your school practices make Yoshi stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. There was once one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated by... Then, what of the one who crossed blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple?
Lady, I'm not sure.
The path of the sword map. It requires one to take their sword only a deep commitment. When that ambition disappeared...
Poor sensei. To think he's been...
I'm sorry. Father. Sensei. Ansai.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that Ansai? Where did he follow us the whole way?
Ansai. Why are there two of you? Is that you or a ghost? You're here for revenge, aren't you?
You're right to assume that my feelings towards you are far from kindly. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. You didn't... I don't think most of the people you beat along the way would hold it against you. On the contrary, now I know that we can't place our hopes in you any longer, since you've been stripped. But that is no reason to strip them of theirs. Follow the way of the sword all the way to the highest peak.
But what if one day... I put everything I had into trying to become the best. If there's a chance they'll end up like me one day,
Have you asked them what they think?
Sensei, after you rescued me from the hands of... I can't know whether I will suffer in my future as you do. I want to keep going until the day that I can...
Nanako's far from the only one.
Goodness.
You see? Being stripped of your ambition is something that's never happened to me, so I can't claim to understand it. But I do know, so... Just as I once placed my ambitions onto you, are not in the same position that I was.
I'm sorry to have made you worry for me, and for the state. I no longer have the resolve to become the best in the world. The emptiness and suffering but as your sensei, I shall commit to... This is my promise.
You can count on that. I'd be checking in on you occasionally anyway, but I am now used to the life of a wanderer. I do not belong in the dojo anymore. Well, don't just stand there staring at me.
So even though his ambition was taken away, his disciples can take it over on his...
Traveler, a moment, please.
So, the wind that blows from afar carries fresh life to these shores. For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment. I have high hopes for you, child. Don't disappoint me.
Ooh, Lady Yai seems to have taken a real interest in you. She seems super mysterious. Paimon's so curious what she really meant by all that. We can come back to it another time. For now, we should go report back to Miss Kamisato.
I'm sure the Kamisato clan will be fine.
Oh, Ayaka! Guess who fulfilled all your wishes? Huh? Ayaka! Huh?
Huh? Huh?
Traveler, Paimon. It is a pleasure to finally meet you both face to face. I have heard all about how you helped our 3 friends. My sincerest thanks to you.
Yeah. Short of getting, Ayaka.
Because now that you have done the 3 things I asked of you, I consider you—
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. But isn't Toma your—
Oh. Paimon, you are most entertaining.
Oh. Okay then. Ayaka, you—
Thank you. Back to the matter at hand. You have now witnessed the pain of those deprived— Thunders roar. Light, but I believe that surely you understand. It seems that perhaps now you can appreciate my feelings on all of them. You will? Really? Naturally.
All right, bravo, my lady. You were right.
See? I told you he wouldn't reject them. Now then, given that the remainder of our discussion pertains to matter—
Well, here we are again.
Please continue without me. I'll keep walking.
So, what's the deal with this place anyway? What makes it your favorite meeting spot?
This is land that was gifted to the Yashiro Commission by the Shogun. The Kamisato clan has such privileges exist due to the Yashiro Commission's role in managing ceremonial affairs.
Oh, Paimon gets—
Once the number of ceremonial affairs conducted in the city began to decline, our forebears built a tea house here. Only members of the Yashiro Commission are permitted to come and go as they please.
Makes sense. Perfect place for us.
In any case, we can talk freely here. I presume— The almighty Shogun. I've seen her on but only a few occasions. She inspires awe, commands respect, and exudes a— It was her almost complete lack of any emotion. In that sense, she appeared to me to be less of a ruler and more of, well, an executive official, I suppose. The issue is this. For the vast majority of people, the Vision Hunt Decree is something that has no implications whatsoever. After all, it is but a tiny minority of people who receive visions. Moreover, because of this, the attitude of most people—
How can they be like that?
Nevertheless, in addition to us, there is also the resistance on Watatsumi Island.
Resistance? You mean like an army?
Yes. Many who have lost or fear losing their visions have rallied together under Sangonomiya on Watatsumi Island to form a resistance group. To say a little more about Sangonomiya, historically, there has always been some conflict between them and the shogunate of Narukami Island, due to but I do wonder whether there may be some other agenda behind their resistance movement. Of course! We have tried on numerous occasions. Unfortunately, each time a proposal to— They invariably adopt a stance of unconditional support for the Shogun's decisions. It almost makes one wonder whether they had a hand in the Shogun's sudden decision to—
Ooh, Paimon has a question though.
Oh? What would you like to know, Paimon?
Have you got a plan yet to fight the Vision?
To be honest, we do not.
What?
Please, do not forget that challenging the Vision Hunt Decree is tantamount to challenging a deity.
So—
Well, for the moment, all we can do is try and reduce the harm that is being caused. For example, by providing vision bearers with safe refuge.
You're telling Paimon that there are people out there who can make fake—
Don't underestimate the talents of the craftspeople in Hanamizaka. To the naked eye, their counterfeits are— The problem we are facing right now is that—
Darn! So they found out about it?
Yes. We knew it was not a long-term solution, and that it was only a matter of— Exactly. I feel the same way. But given mine and Toma's identities as part of the Yashiro— By no means do we intend to place the burden— When you are ready, Go to Hanamizaka and look for...